Good morning, sunshines. It's Callie Carroll and Whit and John, the warrior, Whit and Strong, the one and only. Say hi, Whitty. He's having his drink. His medicine hasn't kicked in yet, guys. It's totally fine. You guys, we're going to talk about some serious stuff today, and we're actually going to give gratitude, and we're going to say thank you for tumors, which is a pretty challenging conversation. You want to say bye? So Whit wanted to say hi before we start the conversation. Do you want to say bye?
Bye.
Say bye. Say love you. Can you say I'm strong? Can you say strong? Can you say healthy?
Soup.
Soup? He wants to do soup instead, you guys. He sees this medicine. I don't really know. Okay, I love you. Go see Grandma get pancakes. All right, you guys, so as you jump on, say good morning, sunshine, hashtag GMS. Don't mind me. We just jumped out of the shower. I worked out. Okay, we always start out with a gratitude. I worked out for the first time in like 2 months today. Like a real workout, not like a 5-minute, just like on the ground workout. It was 30 minutes instead. So I showered today. So grateful for both of those things, and going to be grateful for all of the things we talk about in this conversation. Say good morning, sunshine, hashtag GMS. If you want to interact and participate, you always get more out of it. And then something that you're grateful for today. Maybe you got to exercise. Maybe you got a cup of coffee. Maybe your right leg works. I don't know. Maybe you can see any of those things. So what are you grateful for? Okay. So if you guys have been following me, we recently discovered my son has been diagnosed with 2 rare diseases, right? So Whit and John, the one that just left, we went into the hospital a little over 6 weeks ago, and we were going in for this seemingly routine diabetes insipidus test, where like I was told, don't worry, if he has it, he just goes home with an inhaler. I'm like, oh, cool. Like super simple disease. Not true. And P.S., we already talked about this. Like this is not the diabetes that you guys are thinking of with insulin. It's a totally different disease. It's just called that because he pees a lot, and it's something completely different. Anyways, so we go in to do this like routine test, right? And we find out that it's diabetes insipidus is caused by something in the brain. So I'm thinking, okay, it's like genetic, like what, like it's not gonna be that big of a deal. And there's this moment, you guys, where I'm walking out in the hallway. I remember my mom and I had been up all night long because we couldn't let my son drink for an entire night, which doesn't sound bad to you, but when water is your lifeline and you're peeing everything out, it's basically like a form of torture. It's ridiculously horrible. So we're like exhausted, and I'm like walking like a zombie back to the room because we were taking turns leaving to drink water because you can't drink anything in front of him. And the doctor's standing there. And he's like, so we did find out, like the test is complete. He has diabetes insipidus, and it's central. So that means his brain is causing it. And I'm like, okay, so it can be caused from this, this, and this, right? And he's like, Cal, no, like he didn't say Cal. He didn't know my nickname was Cal. It's fine, you guys. He's like, actually, like that means it's from his brain. There's something in his brain. So I like have this like totally like whatever moment, we can talk about that later. Fast forward, we've done MRIs, we've done PET scans. We discovered that he has the 2 different tumors in his head, in his bones, and then one in his hip. And it was, you guys, it was 24 hours after we found the tumors, okay, that I had to pull myself back. And this was, I mean, this takes something, and I recommend it if there's something going on in your life that you're like really resisting. I had to like step back and look at this from a different view, perspective wise, because I know that God has a plan. And literally, I also have been training, and I acknowledge that what we resist persists. What we run from runs to us. What we push away literally is attracted to us. It's this push and pull. So for me to be pissed at the tumors, for me to be mad at the tumors, for me to be pushing them away, for me to be like, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go right this minute, all that does is create more tension and attraction for this. And I just know this for like through I Am Journey, through the different training that I've done. So what I did, you guys, literally 24 hours after discovering all of the different tumors in his body, is I took a big deep breath and I started saying thank you. If you guys haven't practiced Ho'oponopono, there's this, it's a great book, Zero Limits, but where like literally it's just like, thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. And that's gonna sound really wacky to some people, but I started acknowledging those pockets in his head and the pocket in his hip, and visualizing and closing my eyes, and in a form of prayer, I just started saying thank you to these tumors. I mean, can you even imagine, right? Thank you to these tumors, because there is a purpose. They are here for a reason, And when I allow for them, when I welcome them, it's called a welcoming technique, is literally what it's called, you guys, from another book. Oh my gosh, I can see the cover. Shoot. I'll think of it by the end, okay? It's this welcoming technique where you're like, you bring in what you might not like, what you would usually resist. And when you do, it just dissipates. It just flows away. It has permission to leave you, right? So as I was saying this, thank you, there's already so much. So this is 24 hours after, right? I was like, there's already so much that we have learned from your presence. I'm talking to the tumors, you guys. There's so much that we've already learned from your presence. We've learned about connection. I've learned about, as challenging it might say, but about the lack of longevity of life, like about true presence, about connection. I got to see my husband not just cry, but like bawl, you guys. I got to see his innermost sentimental person who I hadn't seen for a while. We connected on a different level. My mom and I had some different breakthroughs on some things. Like we connected on a different level. We started looking at the people and the things in our world differently, and it had only been 24 hours, right? And then as I started to connect with you guys, sharing our journey, as I'm saying thank you to the tumors, thank you, thank you, thank you, like their impact already started to impact you guys, because as I've been sharing with you guys, I'm getting so many messages back. You guys, I experienced this. Thank you so much. 20 years ago, this happened. You're helping me let it go. This has happened to me recently. I'm in the middle of the situation, but I'm seeing it differently. You're bringing more light and love to my life because of your shares from the situation. And that's a thank you, thank you, thank you to the tumors, because they're the ones that were the instigators of doing this. Right? So here I am giving gratitude, and I'm visualizing them. Like literally, like I see them. I'm like, hey, what's up, bro? Thank you. Thank you. I acknowledge you. I acknowledge you in the hip. I acknowledge the things that you have already done in our worlds. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. This is the Ho'oponopono, right? Just to put all of that positive light and love towards that place. And then I just say, you're free to go on God's divine timing. You're free, you're here. And you guys, as I say that, I cannot describe to you what my body feels. I hope that some of you guys practice this someday and you can experience what that feels like to me. But it's like this like wash. When I say thank you, at first I want to puke, by the way. And especially when I first started this practice, it was like, are you kidding me? Like, thank you for the tumors that my 20-month-old has in his body. Like, no, fuck the tumors. Like, that's what you think, right? But when you say thank you at first, it's like, ugh. But then as you say, thank you, I love you, please forgive me, you know, I'm sorry, and you start to connect with that, and you connect to what it's already done, it starts to get lighter. And as I say, like, you are free to leave on God's divine timing. What it does for me is it's like this wash, like this wash of all of those things that are dark and misplaced and sad and scary, just giving them the allowance to just leave, right? And in this practice called welcoming, the greatest secret, that's what the book is, okay? So that's in the greatest secret, where I learned about welcoming. It's just a way to emotionally stabilize yourself and change the vibration from something where you're so angry and so mad and so pissed and so like sad and all of the negative dark things, which by the way, I have a lot of that too, right? But where you take that and instead you transition it, instead of attracting more to you, instead of attracting more dark mass to you, transitioning to thank you, I love you, please forgive me, I'm sorry. And this lightness allows for it to go through you, and all of a sudden you become lighter. I know this is this is a higher level type of conversation for some people that haven't dove into this before, but I'm just going to challenge you to imagine in your life what it would be like if you acknowledge the things that have hurt you most and then see how they have actually helped you. Acknowledge maybe it's the divorce and your ex and the way that they parent their kids. You know what? That person, that ex, they're the one, without them, you wouldn't have that little small human that you're fighting about. Maybe it's something like that, right? Where you can start to find light and love around a situation that's not just seemingly light and love. Somebody doesn't just sit back and be like, oh, that Cal's super thankful for those tumors. Hell no, they don't. That's crazy talk, right? But when you start to discover and you start to dive into what can you be thankful for, what lessons are you learning? And you guys, this is where that perspective reveals miracles really comes in. You have to back yourself out so far, maybe a decade, and look down and say, how did that situation impact you? So what I do, you guys, is not only do I give thanks for these different things and allow for them to leave me, leave my son, right? Which is because we're one and together as I see this whole vision going through. So allowing it to leave our home, leave his little body, I see this this connection in the future. Sorry, when I visualize my brain, I don't look at you guys because I see it in different areas. Can you guys tell that? So I see, looking back perspective wise, all of the different things that can impact, all of the ways that our lives can become better. I see Whit and John. I see how strong he is. I see him as a doctor or an oncologist, right? I see all of his strength and his presence and his patience. I see what our families learn from this. I see our connection. I see our marriage connection. I see my parents and I's connection. I see our patience. I see how we're grown. I see how I'm impacting you guys. I see the messages coming back. I see the books that I'm writing. I see how that's impacting even more people. I see the connection through different social media forces where I'm able to just light people up and realize that even though sometimes you're completely in the shitter of life and you feel like you're at rock bottom, if you just look up and look around you, there is something you can be thankful for in this moment. And when you give gratitude in that space, you not only change your perception, but you start to invite in light and love at that moment, and you can let go of whatever's dark and within you. Facebook user, I wish I knew who you were. I'm going to go back in later because it doesn't tell me your name, but thank you for that share so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You guys, this is where, we do, sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't, right? But, dear God, thank you. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for this exact moment. Thank you for those tumors in my little boy's head and my little boy's hip that are going away, that are leaving his body right now as we speak, because we welcome the lessons they've brought us, the lessons they're bringing everyone around us, and the way that they're able to leave our body. Thank you so much for being in our life. Lord, we love you. Amen. Okay, you don't have to pray with me, but sometimes I just have to pray. I just do. Oh, Miss Amanda, love you so much. Okay, there we are, you guys. Good morning, sunshines. Whatever you're resisting is going to persist. See how you can connect to, invite, love, and let go. If you're committed, just say I'm committed. Bye, guys.